Hello, everyone. It's Jerry at the Fledge, and welcome to another episode of Every Damn Day. And today I'm up in my studio in my office because my guest was gracious enough to come here to do the interview today. So she's down in the sanctuary, and we'll talk to her in a second. And I've got my headset on as usual, brown eyes, brown hair, and I'm wearing a Release Fitness t-shirt, and give a shout out to Release. They are doing great things with the LGBTQ community, and the women in particular, working with training in boxing and kickboxing and different MMA styles. So good job, Aurelia, and check out Release if you're interested in that and want kind of a safe place to go. So today on the show, we have our good friend, Nancy Mahlow. How you doing, Nancy?
I'm doing really good. I have a partner here.
I see that Peppo's took over the table, huh?
Yes, she has.
Yeah.
That's all right. She's doing good.
She's got that COVID loneliness because she used to have a lot of friends around here all the time. But we're coming back, though, aren't we?
Yes, we are. I got all my shots, so I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Although I had a reaction to my second one, but it was okay.
I put in my pronouns Moderna so people know what my vaccine was. And on my second shot, I got a fever, I got the chills, I had a headache the second day, but then it was gone.
I ended up in the emergency room because I couldn't stop throwing up. And I had a big knot, huge knot, probably larger than $50 on my arm. And it was all red and hot. So they gave me medicine and sent me home. So I'm good to go now. A couple of days I was tired, but it's okay. It's worth it.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you that. Was it still worth it to you?
Yep.
Yeah. So I thought we'd start out with gardening, but I bet we'll get to it later. Let's start with you a little bit. Can you tell us about you, like where you were born and raised and went to school and all that?
I was born here at Sparrow, and when I was about 7, I ended up moving to Indiana, small town called Huntington, and was raised by my grandmother. And then I ended up moving back at about 17, and I went to school. I went back to school, and I actually graduated from Everett. So don't hold that against me, all you Eastern people.
Well, I went to Everett my sophomore year, but graduated from Eastern eventually. So I'm still a Viking too.
So, and then as things progressed, I ended up moving here on the east side, and over time, I've been in my house 30 plus years. I moved here when my son was in the first grade, and I got involved with E&O actually over a code compliance issue with a neighbor, and started attending. The code compliance officer encouraged me to attend a meeting, and after that, I was hooked.
Yeah. And just for clarification, E&O is what?
The Eastside Neighborhood Organization.
Yeah. So how long have you been part of that?
Let's see. I would say shortly after I moved. I've lived here almost 38 years. So I've been involved with E&O for probably, I'd say 26 of those 38 years.
Yeah. And have you played a bunch of different roles in E&O?
I sure did. I started out just as a board member, and worked my way up to secretary. And then I became vice president. Um, and now I'm president.
Yeah. So
And
that's
sometimes I wonder, why am I doing this again?
I think about, I've been married for 22 years. I was thinking earlier today, the longest time I ever worked for a single company was 8 years. I don't know what it's like to be with something outside of my family for 26 years yet.
Well,
So,
I worked for the state for almost 27 years.
yeah, I was
So,
wondering what your career was.
yep, worked for the state. I was
Which,
in the Department of Environmental Quality, the Superfund section.
oh, all right.
So, yep, I was a secretary, and it's amazing at what you learn when you're in the environmental part of it, the
Yeah.
contamination, and yeah.
Do you think those the ENO and the state of Michigan work you did kind of mixed together sometimes, like your understanding of environment?
Yeah, I do. Especially trying to keep our neighborhood clean, the trash picked up. I know right now, the past month, everybody's been working to clean up areas, and, just make our city a beautiful city. We all have to live here, so we got to be proud of what we have.
Yeah, it does feel so good when I drive into the neighborhood and the places are cleaned up, like the bridge down the street on Holmes. Always makes me sad. Um,
Well, you can thank Ryan Cost for part of that. Him and I went down there and spent a couple of days, and he went back, and he has just been awesome, uh, trying to clean up.
yeah,
So actually, tomorrow we're going to be going over on Kalamazoo, and we're going to work on the alleys over there between Clemens and, or no, yeah, Clemens and Fairview. There's an alley that runs north and south, and we're going to be over there trying to clean it up.
oh,
It might
nice.
be an alley, but people's yards back up to it, so they shouldn't have to be looking out, you know,
Yeah,
and seeing all the mess.
yeah. It is a shame that I don't know why people do it, and I don't want to judge them right now here. But I see people, they'll drive around the corner on Eureka and Holmes there, and they just throw their trash out like
Hmm.
that. And that corner makes them invisible or something. But every single morning, I have to pick up trash,
Yep.
um, and I don't understand that. So,
I don't either. Every spring we have to clean up along Homer,
yeah,
because of all the trash. I think since we've started, and I say we because Ryan has played a huge part in this. Liberty Church helped out. I think we've gotten over 100 bags of
yeah,
trash,
yeah. With the
and that's
highway
sad.
there, that's pretty hard.
Yeah.
So I saw your post a few weeks ago about that.
Yep.
Um, let's talk about ENO a little bit more, if that's okay.
Sure.
What's the mission? Why is it important to have an Eastside neighborhood organization?
To build community, to come together when there's issues that might go before city council. Um, it helps to talk amongst each other, to get everybody's perspective. I've made it a point that I want to do things in a positive way, positive, productive way. I'm not going to sit and argue with somebody because it's not worth it. Life's too short. But we have to come together because we are fortunate here on the east side that not only do we have ENO, but I think we're up to 19 smaller neighborhood groups. They have their own board, their own members, their own boundaries, but it's so nice to work together. Um, I can send out information. I can call somebody, or they know they can always call me. But it's bringing us together um, that's important. And I'm very proud of the number of neighborhood groups that we have over here.
Yeah.
There's still a couple of areas that need to bring back up, that have kind of dwindled away. But we're working on it.
And why would it be important? And this kind of seems rhetorical with your answer there, but why would it be important for a member of the neighborhood to get involved, and do you join, or do you just show up and participate?
We every group has their own bylaws and their own rules. Ours, you have to attend 3 meetings and or an event, and then we kind of talk to you to see, where you're at, and what your thoughts are. Um, and I mean, we've got to work together. That's
Yeah.
the whole part, is unity and the pride. You take pride in what you have and where you live.
Yeah. What are some things you're proud about with the East Side?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm proud of all the neighborhood groups that we have. Uh, um, we're close to everything. I mean, you can walk just about everywhere to get to something. Um, the I don't know. We just have a great East Side. What can I
Yeah,
say?
I know that's kind of like the way I want to answer right now too, is because it's the East Side. That's why I
Yeah.
like the East Side.
We've got great people that live here. I mean, and not saying that other parts of the city, we have a great city. I had a couple of people one time ask me, well, why are you attending meetings over on the south side? Why are you participating in things on the south side? Because they're my neighbors. It doesn't matter. They're still my neighbors, and I want to support what they're doing. Because it makes us, I mean, we're the capital city, but we're almost like a little city,
Yeah.
because we have so many groups, so many neighborhood groups, um, and we're all working for the same. So,
I just Omar is saying he's proud of the East Side because of how inclusive our community is, with immigrants, students, young people, older folk, families, and everyone. And I do love the diversity and the acceptance of everyone on the East Side.
yes, we have, we I just can't keep saying it enough. We have a great group of people here, because I think part of that is too, we've got MSU that's right down the street. So we do get a lot of the students,
Mhm.
on the east side. Sometimes we have a little bit of problems with them, but we try to work it out,
Yeah.
especially when the party gets a little too loud and a little too big.
Yeah. Um, I so I've been on the East Side after my kind of hiatus, after I left and went to Ann Arbor and Grand Rapids and all this other stuff. But I've been back since 2018, and it was not hard to fit in, but there were some tests that I had to go through, and a lot of things I needed to learn and listen, uh, and I guess kind of fix, or improve. And you were very helpful in that process, having the ENO to go to and to get a kind of collective list, like a punch list of things we should do better, and being able to do that and not just have it all, whispers and then some big blow up. It was great to have a group to communicate with. And we had Prospect Place and ABC talking to both of them about issues too. So I was lucky to have you because it could have turned really bad without knowing everything and all of that. So that's okay. It happens. I'm surprised my phone doesn't go off on the shows as much.
That's probably one of my 15, 16 calls, so it's okay.
Yeah. Um,
Sorry. No, I had a good mentor when I came on board, and it was Mary Margaret. She was the president at the time, and she had been president for quite a few years. And one of the things that she always pounded into me was communicate, communicate, and do it in a positive, productive way. Um, Everybody's not right. Um, you're not going to always agree, but communicate. And sometimes I over communicate, and I know that, but can't say can't say you missed anything with me.
yeah.
But to build the relationship that was started with our city council, our mayor, not just this mayor, but all the mayors, the police chiefs, our school district, Sparrow. We had a rocky relationship with Sparrow in the very, very beginning, and because of all the expansion. And they started coming to our meetings and getting involved, and we really had to stop and think that if Sparrow moved, we would have a huge hole in our community, huge hole. And the amount of employees that live here on the east side is wonderful. So has Sparrow, I mean, we've had issues. I know here recently we've been dealing with the noise issue. But I think they're working on it. So I'm just proud of the relationship that has been built over the years with everybody. You will hear me go down to city council and discuss an issue that we don't support. I have to be careful because my opinion and the organization's opinion might be two different things. But I'm really proud of what we've accomplished over, actually, E&O next year will be 50 years old.
Wow.
So we're looking to have a great big event to celebrate. So
you got me thinking in a lot of fronts here. When you said a little earlier about the interfacing with city council and the mayor, and not just this mayor, the continuity of E&O, and you've been in the neighborhood for 30 years, and I bet you there's a lot of people that have been in this neighborhood for 30 years. That's an important voice in the local government, community, economic development. It's super important.
Yeah. With the development that we have here on the east side, trust me, again, we haven't always agreed. I don't want to see 4-story wall built up and down Michigan Avenue. But do we need to have a little bit of change? Yeah, we do. But we got to come to an even ground of what we want to see as a community, not what somebody else thinks we should have.
Yeah, so there's a lot of, especially in the development on Michigan Avenue, I see a lot of heated discussion about that. And then you've got, the guys in the neighborhood that are the punk rock guys or whatever you want to call them, that just will go after those developers no matter what they're going to do.
Well, I know, gosh, how many years ago was it? Maybe 18 years ago, I pretty much wore a target on my back because I was absolutely against the expansion of the Speedway gas station.
Mm.
Um, and my reason for it, and the organization's reason for it, was, of course, I knew a little bit more because I worked with DEQ.
Yeah.
So I knew how many monitoring wells was on the site. I knew about the contamination, and I kept telling everybody, it's a gas station, you guys. It's a gas station. If we're trying to make our community a walkable, bikeable community, why do we need a gas station? You're not making sense to me. Why wouldn't you support local and go to like Quality Dairy that's down the street if you're going to buy your beer, wine, cigarettes, pop, whatever? Um, we've got 4 gas stations. Yeah, they're on Kalamazoo and Frandor, but how many do we need?
Yeah.
So that was quite interesting for a while. But then people started, you know, looking at things a little differently. So we'll see what happens.
I always feel like that Speedway is out of place. Like it would
It
be
is.
much better if it was a nice restaurant or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, they weren't very good neighbors because what they did to the house behind it, they secretly bought the house and overpaid it, and can't blame the people. They got, I think, $175,000 for their house, and once they moved out, within that weekend, it was tore down.
yeah.
No permits, no nothing. It was gone. They were thinking, well, we'll be able to expand. I don't want to push something back farther into the neighborhood. Um, it, it's, no, I
Yeah.
just can't.
Yeah.
So people out there, I'm not totally against it, but you got to understand.
Well, we got to protect some stuff that we want to keep here, right? All these
Yes.
things we're proud of.
Yep.
What would you say your mission is, like with the ENO? And I mean you, not necessarily just the statement the organization puts out, but what's your mission? What do you want to see happen or continue?
I want it to grow in a positive way. I know that we're not all going to agree. I know that. But I don't want to see the disagreement that is sometimes can be so harsh and almost to the point where it can be evil. That's not what I want. We all have to live here together, and this is our neighborhood. It's our city, and we're proud of what we have, and to keep the organization going for another 50 years, we've got to work together. And that's, even if I have to do it one person at a time by myself, that's my goal. Sorry, I love the East Side.
What's something you do every damn day to push that mission forward?
I love working out in my yard. I think you and I talked before. I've got this great big huge long list. In the beginning it was a honeydew list, but now it's a Nancy list. And so I try to, as my son would tell me, Mom, pick one thing and just do it. Forget the other stuff. Just do the one thing. Sometimes that's hard to do when you've got all this other stuff to do. But yard work, I love. I grew up, like I said, my grandma, and I learned how to cut wood. And I'm not trying to sound like I lived back in the 1800s, but my grandpa, I lived kind of on a farm. So And when it came to being outside, I would fly out the door. And she was always trying to get me into, I needed to learn how to cook. I needed to learn how to, it's like, no, Grandpa needs my help. I need to go outside. So that's where I get it from.
My grandfather he was in World War II, and my grandmother had a victory garden, and then he came back and expanded that victory garden, and he taught me how to garden. And it is one of the absolute reasons I love the East Side, because I feel like, we call them community gardens or urban farms, but I feel like I'm surrounded by victory gardens, and I love it.
Yeah, my grandpa, we grew enough that, it would get us through the winter. Because we didn't have a car. And back then, it just so happened that one of the grocery stores delivered the groceries. So, but he grew enough potatoes and carrots, you name it. His gardens were beautiful, just beautiful. So, and I live next to a quarry, so I got to go fishing at the quarry. And when my husband found out that I knew how to fillet a fish, which was my mistake, I should have never showed him how to do it. So,
Yeah. We actually, I want to go. So, I want to say just one thing about your mission and all of that with the ENO. I just want to say that I really appreciate you, because you and I haven't always been on the same side of every issue, but I've never felt the need to attack or feel attacked by you. It's always been a discussion where we came to some common ground, or you showed me what I should do to fix something. And I just want to reiterate what you said to everyone. Just start talking. If you want to engage with the ENO, just start talking with Nancy and have a discussion. And I bet that you guys can come to the right decision.
yep.
So
We that's all we have to do is just talk to each other. And I'm not going to be an argumentative person. I don't believe in it. Life is too short, and I've learned that in the last few years. You can't walk around with a grudge on your shoulder, because you don't know. You might talk to somebody, and that might be the last time you talk to them.
yeah.
So,
Well, thank you for doing what you do.
thank you.
So we daisy chain the shows together. So I have a question from yesterday's show.
Okay.
And the question was, what's your favorite water? And he's talking about brand of water, but I guess Border Water and Light could also be a brand. And do you think that water has texture? And I don't know where he was coming from with this question, but I thought that's interesting. So do you have a favorite water?
Well, we all appreciate the Board of Water and Light, even though we may not like our light bill or our water bill. But my favorite water, that my kids laugh at me, is I like the brand. It's called Ice.
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 Yeah.
Yep. I drink that all the time. It's the only flavored water. I mean, I've tried other ones, but that's the one that I like.
It was taking me a minute to figure out what you were. Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the big tall bottles.
And it's nice and subtle. It's not like just get blasted with orange. It's a subtle taste. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So on the show tomorrow, I have a guest. And have you thought of your question yet?
No, I haven't. I mean, do you stay up real late at night? Is that your favorite time of the evening?
Hey, I like that question, because I I've been thinking about that a lot lately because I've got a group of people that are morning people that I want to do these pitch competitions, but then all my people that I want to engage with that, sleep till noon, but stay up till 3 or 4 in the morning. I think that sleep patterns have changed a lot even during COVID. I've watched it like within my kids and all that.
Mhm.
And that's an interesting question. What is it for you? Are you morning, night?
Well, being retired, I can stay up later. It I'm one of those. My husband used to get so irritated with me that I just jump out of bed. I'm not the kind of person that has to lay there, wake up. I can jump right out of bed, get dressed, and move. Um, so come the weekend, yeah, I like to sleep in, but I don't always get to do that either.
Yeah. I'm a morning person. I get up around the same time every day, even if
Hmm.
it's Saturday or Sunday.
I wake up about the same time. Yeah, but on Saturdays and Sundays, it's like, come on. But the dogs are like, no, you have to get up.
All right. So now for a couple big questions, then we'll be done with this. What is happiness to you, and are you happy?
Um, yeah, I think I am to a degree. Um, Happy to me is being with my kids and my grandkids. I'm very family oriented. So being with my family is a lot.
Yeah. I that question is always so hard because it implies that happiness is some constant state. And I
Mm-mm.
like hearing how people describe what the happiness is to them. And that it's, you don't know about good days unless you have bad days,
Right.
and vice versa. But I don't know. There's not a requirement to be happy every second, and every single person on the show, except for actually you hedging a little bit, and someone else saying flat out no, they're not. Says they're happy, and I think that's a bias because I don't know. You're on a show, kind of talking about yourself, so maybe you're
Mhm.
happy then. Uh, but it's okay to be unhappy sometimes, everyone. 'Cause
Well, that's why we have emotions. God gave us emotions, and you know, that's what they're there. You gotta share your emotions. Sometimes, if you don't want to, then you just share them with yourself, and um, that's the way it is.
what gives you hope?
Um, Waking up in the morning.
Yes,
Hmm.
that's a good one. I that question to me, I'm always surprised that someone doesn't say, "What makes you think I have hope?" But nobody said that to me yet. But I do like your answer reminds me of why I always think that hope is the last to die. I think it's a Russian uh, proverb, or not proverb, but saying. And I always think about that. As long as there's hope, and then you've got a shot at it.
Hmm.
But when that hope is gone, so I think that having another day always gives me hope. There's always something we can do.
That's right.
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about that we didn't talk about? And maybe one thing I'll suggest, how can somebody that maybe isn't engaged with the ENO, what's the best route? A website, a Facebook page?
We do have our Facebook page. In order to get on it, I think Teresa and Bridget created 2 or 3 questions to answer, um, so that we kind of can control who we're having on the Facebook page. I mean, it's not that we're trying to be a closed group. It's just it can get overbearing, and um, I just don't want to see a bunch of negativity. Start. It's just something we decided a couple of years ago. we had to shut down our page, and we brought it back up. They can always get a hold of me. My email is out there. My phone number's out there. I tell people you can call me anytime. I don't care. Um, if there's something going on and you need to talk to somebody, I don't care if it's 3 in the morning. Call me. Um,
All
that's
right.
what I'm here for. At least I feel I'm here for. So,
Well, anything else you'd like to
nope, come
leave
out
us with?
tomorrow. We could use all the help we can get. So, it's just helping another section of our east side. So, 10
So,
o'clock
so,
tomorrow.
so if you're going down Kalamazoo, in between Clemens and Fairview, there is an alley that needs to be cleaned up. 10 o'clock on Sunday, come help
Mhm.
out. Right?
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. Well, Nancy, thank you for being you. Thank you for doing what you do. And thank you for continuing to be my friend after our
Absolutely.
first few years here. So
That's all right. We
I,
have to learn.
I appreciate you a lot.
All righty.
All right,
Take care.
everyone. Every damn day at 2. We'll see you later.
All
Bye
right.
bye.